Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler V series V's I do for a little while. I'll go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. You're witnessing the birth of a brand new Brandon Wenzel playlist with this one. Well, we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, sorry. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? Well, it happens to be my cold chamber shirt, which it's got some crumbs on it, but we're gonna let it slide. If you are unfamiliar with the band Cold Chamber, they are a band that has been around off and on since the early 90s. They were one of the progenitor nu metal bands, first era. You know, some people even argue that they kind of beat Korn to the running, but they never managed to quite get into that upper echelon of the nu metal stuff, but kind of just below it. Certainly enough that they could headline their own tours and stuff. They're definitely very noteworthy. I really like them. I was fortunate enough, I got to see them perform live last year when they reunited again. They were on tour with Mudvayne. I really loved their show, and it was so cool to see the fans really just pop for them, especially because at the time when I was in my area, I was seated in front of this one dickbag who was like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah. I don't even know why Cold Chamber, blah, 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 blah." Because he was pissed off that they got higher billing than Gwar, because Gwar was on the same tour. And he's like, "Well, they only had one album." And it was like, no, dude, they didn't only have one album. Shut up, you're dumb. But when they came out and the crowd exploded, it was super fucking cool. So much so, I actually got some videos of said performance on this channel, just in case maybe you want to check it out. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why am I putting up a new playlist? Well, folks, I headed back out to Charleys Cheesesteaks. I just got through reviewing their Kentucky bourbon cheesesteak. Go watch that one if you're interested. But I also saw something that made me just go, okay, yeah, I have to do it. Because, folks, we're reviewing... Let's see if we can get a thing for the thing. Boom! It's their hot honey wings. These specifically are their hot honey boneless wings. And this brings up the new immersion of this new playlist, because I am coming out with a playlist called Hot Honey is the Money, that is for just hot honey related things, because oddly enough in 2024 hot honey's just become this big thing. Now I think that Charleys Cheesesteaks has actually had hot honey before 2024, to be fair, but I'm gonna go with it. It also prompts me to do my little jingle that I came out with, which is Hot Honey 24, we got what you're looking for. Which is stupid and ridiculous, but I don't care. So let's go ahead. Let's see, can we get a thing for the thing? A little bit better thing for the thing anyway. Let's try to get a thing for a thing. I think that works pretty well. Okay. So this is an interesting take on it. Because I've tried out a bunch of hot honey stuff in really just the last few months. It's always really interesting to see kind of how they go with it. I mean, I'll do a quick review of the chicken. The chicken itself is fine. It's nothing spectacular or amazing or anything, but it's perfectly fine. It's nice. It's got a nice little crunch to the exterior. The inside is nice and tender and juicy. It's perfectly fine. They're, pretty standard boneless wings, tasty. Nothing to write home about, but nothing to gawk at either. So that end of things is fine. The sauce is really the main thing that I'm reviewing in this instance, and it's definitely a very unique take. It's definitely one of the strongest I've had in terms of putting the emphasis on like the hotter aspect. Usually ones that I've had, you're trying to find like that fine line, the the heat and the sweet. You want to find that. Where is it going to work? And ones that I've found typically lean more into the sweetness. This one, not nearly as much. It's definitely more of a peppery kind of sauce to it, like almost like a chipotle, or not chipotle. I'm sorry, almost like a sriracha. Like it has a very distinct, like whatever they used for like their heat end of the hot honey, definitely a very distinctive kind of flavor to that sauce. And then it feels like that was really the base, and then they just maybe added like some honey to it to kind of work with it. It doesn't feel super blended, even though I mean like it is, but it just, there's something of a separation, it's good and in its way. I certainly don't dislike it, but like the initial is more kind of the sweetness of the honey, and once that sauce takes over, man, that really kind of knocks the honey out of the equation. There's kind of, like I said, there's almost a separation where, like I said, you start off with the sweet, then you really kind of go to the heat. They don't really have a ton of overlap. There's a little bit, but yeah, it doesn't feel super cohesive, But the flavor is there. It's tasty. I don't dislike what it's doing for the most part. There is a little bit of an aftertaste that I'm not thrilled with. I don't know what it is exactly, though. That's the weird thing about it. Typically, with like a hot honey, you get like a little bit of a sweetness aftertaste. The heat itself is certainly reasonable. It's not crazy hot or anything. Kind of just warms your mouth up a little bit. Yeah, okay. Two questions have to be asked. Would I get him again? Would I recommend him? This one's a little bit tough. Maybe on occasion and kinda. I don't dislike it at all. I think it's perfectly fine, and I think that, delivers on flavor. But again, it's the sauce is really just kind of, I don't know. I've had way better hot honey sauces. Let's put it that way. This isn't terrible or anything, but I wish it meshed better, and I wish it didn't have that aftertaste. But it's nothing terrible, and I'll give it this if nothing else. It does have its own personality. It doesn't taste quite like any other hot honey blend that I've had, so there's that. So for me, maybe I could see grabbing it. Typically if I'm going to Charleys Cheesesteaks, I'm going for a cheesesteak. But sometimes I'll also get their wings. I think this is like the second time I've had their wings, and I did like their lemon, like their lemon pepper or something like that? I forget what it was now. In both instances, I don't know, I wasn't very impressed with their wings. Like, they're, again, not bad, but I don't know. If I'm recommending them, I think there's better representations of the hot honey than what they're putting out, but I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I'm not going to give them a ringing endorsement, but I'm definitely not going to go over there and completely outright shit on them. Because again, like, I don't think that they're bad. They're on the better side of good. They're like a solid C+. For that reason, I'm not going to go over there and recommend that they fucking sign up for Yale, but at the same time, well, if they want to do some community college, maybe try to work their way up, earn some credits, sure. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. But anyway, 5 things for you out here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there, have yourselves a truly hot honey-tastic rest of your life, because that's what this is. We're just going to roll with the hot honey thing. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, at least try. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, hey, maybe you're a huge fan of the hot honey wings from Charleys Cheesesteaks. Maybe you're a longtime fan. And you hit me up in the comments, Brandon, it's the best, you don't know, and blah, 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 and, general internet bullshit. That's perfectly fine. I have no problem with dissenting opinions, at least until my own regime takes over, in which case, well, we'll see how that goes. But at least until then, I'm perfectly fine with dissenting opinions. People can have their own opinions. Try to be civil about it. Whenever, it doesn't happen often, but every now and again I will get some dickbag in my comments section that, decides to go over there and take some kind of crack. It's like, I don't know what you're trying to get out of this. Like, I'm just going to delete your comment. Just fucking block you from my channel. So, if you're thinking about shitting on me in one of my reviews or whatever, just realize it will literally amount to nothing more than me going boop, 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 boop. But no, seriously, hopefully you enjoy, whatever hot honey, incarnation you particularly like, whether it's this one or one of the many others. Hopefully me putting this playlist together will give you some options.